Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about 8 tips for nitrox divers. If you are a certified nitrox diver, this video is for you. I hope it is helpful. If you are not nitrox certified, this video is not for you, but you should go ahead and get certified and then come back and watch this video. Okay, 8 things I want to cover with you today. First, when you get on a boat, when you go to a shop, wherever it may be, whoever's giving you the tank is going to loan you an analyzer. If that comes up, if they don't have an analyzer, you're going to tell them, no, thank you so much. That's very nice. I'm going to go on air. Thank you. That's great. If you can't analyze it, you can't dive it, period. And every shop or every boat that I have ever been on who was offering nitrox had an analyzer. All you have to do is ask. So go ahead and ask. No one's going to think bad of you. In fact, they're going to think, hey, this is a responsible diver doing what they're supposed to do. Number 2, once you've analyzed the percentage of oxygen in your tank, obviously is not just for funsies. It's for you to calculate your maximum operating depth. So do that. Actually, many times there's actually going to be a chart, a table that you can use to just check out what your MOD is. Do it. You don't just need to know the oxygen in your tank. You actually need to know how deep you're allowed to go with that oxygen. Number 3, your computer. Your computer doesn't know what's in your tank. It usually thinks there's air, which is 21% oxygen. So please tell your computer what is in your tank, which brings me to point number 4. Please remind your computer what is in your tank between 2 dives, because one tank had one level of oxygen. Second tank for second dive will have a different level of oxygen. So please remember, when you get back up to the surface, you switch your gear onto your new tank, and then you tell your computer what the new tank contains. Which brings me to point number 5. Set an PPO2 alarm on your computer. So make sure that you've told your computer, hey, I don't want to go beyond 1.4, which is the limit recreationally. And so you tell your computer to warn you if you're getting anywhere near that limit. And another alarm, secondary alarm that you should put in there is the depth alarm. Remember that MOD that I told you to calculate? Tell your computer, hey, by the way, computer, not only do I not want to go beyond 1.4 PPO2, but I also please would like to not exceed this depth, which is my MOD. That way you have 2 levels of warnings in case you are approaching your limits because you are diving nitrox. Also, when you are measuring your oxygen levels, that's great. But if your tank's nearly empty, that's not really going to help you. So whenever you receive a tank from a shop or when you're on a boat, it is not rude. It is perfectly acceptable for you to shove your rag on both tanks and measure how much air you have. It has happened to us, and nobody's doing anything wrong. It's accidental. It happens that we will grab a tank, put the rag on it, and realize, I'm under half tank with this one. Just tell the people and be like, hey, I need to switch this out, and they will do that for you. But please do that when you're still at shore or at the port or at the shop, because there's little to nothing anybody can do once you're out on the water, okay? And then it's a bad experience for everybody. You might get upset and they might get upset, and that's just not a nice situation for anybody. Also, when you've calculated your MOD and when you have analyzed the O2 level, mark it on your tank. Grab a piece of duct tape, grab a piece of tape. They may have it, the actual nitrox yellow and green tape to put on your tank. Whatever it may be, mark it on the tank. Why am I saying that? Because a lot of shuffling happens on board. What if your buddy happens to grab your tank because he's one off to the left or one off to the right? What if the dive masters or the instructors or the captain rearrange the tanks while you're in the water and they're on board because they're trying to make space or whatever it may be? So you want to make sure that you know the level of oxygen and the MOD, and you put your initials and the date on a piece of whatever it is, tape. You shove it on the tank itself, and that way you know this is my tank, this is the one I analyzed, this is my MOD, and this is the oxygen level for that tank, okay? And then that's it. And that's it. Those are my tips for you nitrox divers out there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, make bubbles or not if you're in a rebreather. And remember, every dive you come back from where you're healthy and alive is a great dive.